We've been gone a long time, haven't we?
Time.
Yeah. I had a touch of bronchitis and missed a week, then we were off a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did Amelia Earhart, did they find her yet? Going trick-or-treating, I guess?
Yeah.
Well, that's great. That is a festive outing.
You like this?
I do.
I'm going as an unusual fighter pilot.
The screaming sissies. Yeah. Okay. Well, since we were here last, how many of you are looking for your manuals at home so you can reset the clocks on your VCR? Didn't we have a... We are back on, I guess, standard time now. And believe it or not, in Los Angeles Sunday, they issued an alert, this is true, for Los Angeles drivers to slow down on their way to work in the morning because sunlight will be hitting their windshields. So they asked them to... They don't even slow down here when bullets hit the windshield. What are they talking about? Anyway. All right, good. Well, today is Halloween. I guess this is the time of year when parents come up with about $70 for a costume so the kids can go out and get about $3 worth of candy. Now, in Los Angeles, trick-or-treaters, they're kind of health conscious here. And you can see... They come to the door, and you can see their eyes light up when you give them some wheat thins and some carrot sticks. Then a few minutes later, your garage lights up. They want... I used to live in Beverly Hills, as you know that. Well, so did you at one time.
Yes.
We both... Halloween is a little different there.
Yes.
Kids actually fax their requests to you. And then... And you don't get any trick-or-treats. They say, would you have any Grey Poupon? Now, now, how many of you are looking for something to do tonight after the show to go out? It's Halloween night. Halloween night, I suggest Burbank's famous haunted 7-Eleven. It's really eerie. Legend has it that at the stroke of midnight, you can hear Harry Houdini gagging on a microwave burrito. You know, we all ought to be up in San Francisco tonight. You hear what's going on up there? No. Well, let me tell you. Good. I'm glad you don't know, ma'am. Apparently, there's a couple of televangelists. One of them is named Larry Lea, L-E-A. I'm not familiar with him. He said he's going to exorcise the entire city of San Francisco. He's brought 10,000 of his followers to Northern California. He says to kick the devil out of the area. He's a little late for that. Didn't the Cincinnati Reds do that a while back? I kind of miss Halloween, being a kid. Going up, NBC got his first Halloween fright this morning. Ratings came in for the Larry King special. Boy. I understand some kids went to the White House trick-or-treating day and said trick-or-treat, and Bush couldn't make up his mind. He kept flip-flopping between trick and treat, and he's still there saying, I don't know. Did kids come to your door?
Yes.
See, I have fun. Kids come out. I live in Malibu, as you know, and I really have fun. Trick-or-treaters come to the door, and I don't answer the door, and I just wait for the tide to come in and take them out. No, I don't do that. Hey, folks. That's called a humorous remark, folks. Now, here's an interesting show business tidbit, if you're in a mood for a show business tidbit. The vice president of our country, Dan Quayle, have you read about this? Is going to play himself on Major Dad. If you ask me, he ought to play himself on Unsolved Mysteries. Don't understand. That's cool. I'm not Dan Quayle on Major Dad. And as soon as he found out he was going to be on a military series, he called his father to see if he could get out of it. He didn't want to... No, that's just it. And not only that, Supreme Court Justice David Souter is going to be the guest bachelor on Love Connection, you see? This is ratings month coming up, and for 1 week only, the stars of Perfect Strangers are going to be replaced by Jesse Helms and Barney Frank. They seem to have softened along the way, didn't it? Okay, how many of you paid, what was it, $39.50 to see the heavyweight fight? Did any of you pay for that? How long did that go? About a minute and 10 seconds into the third round? Buster Douglas got $19.5 million for 7 minutes' work. Did you see the fight?
Yep.
Did you pay for it?
No, I watched it on a stolen signal.
You youngsters remember that out there. That's right. Steal the signal. He's like Uncle Doc. The reporter said that Buster didn't have the will to win. They said he just wasn't hungry enough. Of course he wasn't hungry enough. He'd eaten everything in 2 states. How could he be hungry? 19 mil. Anyway, wouldn't you get in the ring for $19 million? And take one shot and go out?
Sure.
And now they're going to crank up another one. I think the next fight is going to be between Holyfield and George Foreman.
Right.
And this one he's going to get, Holyfield's going to get $17 million. Boy, there's good money in that stuff. Well, that's about it for me. What do I do now? Do I announce who's on the show?
Yes,
Did you tell
that'd
them?
be nice.
From Night Court, John Larroquette is with us tonight. Of course, I don't remember what to do. I'm getting senile. Both of us. We're old. A couple of old farts is what we are.
Anybody else on the show?
Yeah, sure. Anyway.
Do you happen to know their names?
No, I don't know their name. Comedian Anthony Griffith is with us tonight. Tonight, yeah. And a very funny comedian, Kevin Pollak, is with us. So stay where you are. Hi, thank you. Hello there, folks.
Good to see you. Yes.
I'm fully recovered now.
You're all
I got a
right.
little shot of bronchitis, and you get in there, you can't get rid of it. Then you go on one drug, and by the time they found out it doesn't work, you go on another one.
Yeah.
So you're dizzy for a couple of days. This is Halloween, and we don't have a lot of Halloween stuff here, but just before the show, my assistant Pam brought to my office a carved Halloween pumpkin. I remember usually we just put a couple of eye holes, and you know, usually
Very
one
simple,
tooth and
easy, yeah.
the top, and you stick a candle in it. This was sent, and he sent it out by mail, I guess. His name is Mr. Lauren Longard of Green Bay, Wisconsin. Do you want to see a fun? He says he does this. He's on about 85 this year. And he sent this to us. Look at that. Now you're talking. Is that a
That's
pumpkin?
a pumpkin. Boy.
Yeah. So, thank you, Mr. Longard. That's
Very nice.
Put that back. I guess we can't keep it up here all the time, can we? Well, why not?
Here you go.
Now, he doesn't cut the top open anymore. He says you don't do that. He says you put the candle in through there, but you don't put the top on. He says it'll last longer. It dries them out.
Oh.
Oh-ho. Oh.
Now we know. Yes, sir.
Takes me a while to get going.
Well, it's all right.
I'm off.
Any old business?
Just us. We can just remember what we're doing here while we get the show together.
You did the pumpkin part good.
Thank you very much. All right. I had a birthday, you know, since we were off. I didn't bring that up.
I'm sorry. I should
No,
wish
I
you.
didn't bring that up for that.
Happy birthday.
Well, I want to show you something. This is a copy of the New York Herald. And it is in very fragile condition, and it is under... Actually, we have encased this in plastic, but I want you to see the heading. Yeah. All right. That is the New York Herald from October 27th, 1910. Now, the reason I bring that up is for a particular reason. Let me first of all give you a few things that happened on this day, October 27th, 1910.
All right.
Victor Herbert's Naughty Marietta premiered in New York City. Did you realize that 80 years ago? These are some of the headlines. We can't even take this out of it because it's so fragile. Fire raged through northern Minnesota, and 30,000 people had to flee the state, along with cattle, wild cats, and timber wolves. Now, here's the thing I find most interesting. 80 years ago, on October 27th, British troops landed in the Persian Gulf to protect England's economic interests. Don't you find that rather strange?
Very.
But to the people on the show, the most significant event that happened October 7th, 1929, was the birth of a member of our staff. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
Last Saturday, we weren't here, of course. Our executive producer was Fred de Cordoba's 80th birthday. Right over here. Years old. Now, I don't know what Fred has been drinking all these years, but I want to get some of it.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I find it hard to believe. I was going to ask Fred to come over here, but Fred doesn't really enjoy sitting here too much in the spotlight because it's really too far away from his refreshments.
It's amazing what a life of moderation and all
Isn't
things
it,
can
though?
do. Yes.
Clean living.
Yeah, that's
Man's clean. I don't know. He's remarkable. I don't understand. He didn't think we were going to do this tonight because we faked him out. We had some other material ready because he goes through my folder, so we had to put this phony stuff in. But we'd like to give you a brief summary of Fred's life and show business. And we copied down some of the more interesting things that happened to him. September 27th, 1910, I already told you, Fred is born, which is not the last time in his life that he'll wake up naked in the arms of a big nurse. October 1925, in a small town in Iowa, a child is born named Johnny Carson. November 1925, Fred rents a camel and brings gifts. 1927, Fred is voted class president of his school for the 12th year in a row, much to the annoyance of his 12-year vice president, Peter LaSalle. 1928, backstage at the Ziegfeld Follies, 18-year-old Fred sees his first naked woman and makes a major career decision. He wants to be a naked woman, too. 1932, young Fred screws up his courage and asks a young lady for her hand. Then for her other hand. There are no barf bags on the plane. 1933, Prohibition ends and Fred cautiously samples something he has never experienced in his young life. Gin without that strange bathtub ring aftertaste. Moving along to 1942, we just can't put all the highlights in. We put the ones that we think you will find amusing. 1942, America enters the war. Fred escapes military service because of his feet. They're in Canada. (1946), Fred tries to make it in Hollywood. People soon discover he's a shallow, no-talent, cheap hustler on the make. He is an immediate success. 1951, Fred directs the cult classic Bedtime for Bonzo, devising an elaborate series of rewards. 2 bananas when Bonzo does something right, and 3 bananas when Reagan does something right. 1970, big jump here. Fred becomes producer of The Tonight Show, where he gains a reputation for ruthlessness. I hate that some of these things you have to bring out. On his first day, I wasn't aware of this. He fires an armless janitor for entering his office without knocking. 1986, inspired by Alex Haley, Fred looks up his own roots and discovers he's so old, his family only goes back to him. That's not all, Fred. We have just a few photos, professionally mounted photos, highlights from your career from the Hollywood archive. Let's see if we can find them over here. Ask
You're remembering everything.
I'm trying to remember. In 1933, you almost ended the American stage musical with this shocking, unsavory extravaganza, Guys Who Are Occasionally Dolls. No one else made a war film like you did. Theirs all made money, but this one was about 3 chefs who hatched a plan to drive the Nazis from their stronghold. It was called The Baked Beans of Navarone. After the hit comedies Bedtime for Bonzo and Bonzo Goes to College, you went one sequel too far with this regrettable offering, Bonzo Gets Fixed. And he... Well, Fred, they didn't always give you the big budgets, but you did the best with what you had, as in this cheapy horror flick, Myron Levine, Underwear Zombie. Yeah, okay. This is for time, folks. And this was your last film before joining us here on The Tonight Show, a musical about an irregular Russian dance troupe called Fiddler on the Roughage. So, Fred, we want to present you with this New York Times. This is for real, folks. It's the only thing. And Tommy, Doc, of course. I am forgetting. I am forgetting. They were right. I'm forgetting.
Thank you, Tommy. Thank you.
Everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Great.
What a budget we laid out for noisemakers. One roll of confetti and a cap gun. Bang, boom, that's it. Anyway, he's a remarkable man.
He really is.
Remarkable man. You're welcome. We will be back with John Larroquette. I'm remembering Anthony Griffith and Kevin Pollak. Okay, all right. You're on those, gentlemen. John Larroquette is a very talented actor. He's won 4 Emmys for his work on the TV series Night Court. He's also in a new motion picture called Tune In Tomorrow, which I guess is open, as they say, in theaters near you, or not too far from you, close by. Well, around the corner. I don't know where they are. Would you welcome John Larroquette? Scary.
Isn't it, though? It's bizarre. It's a very interesting,
That's a strange look.
It's almost real.
No, actually, you could go anywhere with that, and you'd
If
be
you
hard
wore a hat and kind of covered your
hard
face.
put to recognize.
Oh! Whoa! Put the mask
Now
on.
take the other mask off. Boom. Happy Halloween.
And to yourself.
Good to see you. You were booked to be here a couple of weeks ago. And
Yes, and you fell ill.
And I fell ill.
Which is sort of getting to be a habit with us. I mean,
What are you talking about?
Happened a couple of times, at least once before. That I must make you sick, I guess.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Gee, I'm sorry about that. Because I don't get sick very often. I don't think it's about the longest I've been off the show for a long time. It was the 3 days.
I get real sick. I got pneumonia actually a while back.
That's very dangerous.
It is. I didn't know I had it for several. My son had it.
You
My
have what they
3-year-old.
call walking pneumonia.
Yeah.
You have it and you don't know it.
Yeah, I thought it was just the air, and my aged persona was beginning to catch up with me. But I found out I caught it from my 3-year-old son.
Yeah.
He was real sick.
You look well.
I'm fine now.
What'd you do? What'd you used to do on Halloween? I came from the Midwest, and I hate to admit this after all these years, but in those days, you've heard about outhouses, right? Yeah. You don't see many of them anymore, even in the Midwest. But in the days, they used to have the outhouse away from the main house. And kids would actually go out on Halloween and tip them over. Yeah. They thought that was a high stunt.
Hopefully they were vacant at the time.
Yes, but you always tip an outhouse over from the back to the front, never from the front to the back.
Because you'll...
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. But I guess
the rudest thing that we used to do is at houses that were that wouldn't be very generous to us,
Yes.
we would put raw oysters in their mailboxes.
Yeah.
So the next morning when they'd reach in and be, really slimy.
How
and,
nice.
and-
Clever stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Now, I know you have to leave early now. Are you going out with your children? Most parents should. If the kids are very young, they should go with them on trick-or-treating.
No, I've got to go to school. I'm taking a class at UCLA.
Graduate school, you mean, or what?
Yeah, I should
what
have
do
my
you
high
mean?
school diploma any day now. No, I'm...
No, I mean, is this graduate stuff for college?
Well, actually, it's Halloween. I'm going as a politician. See, I've wrapped myself in the flag. So, no, I'm taking a photography class.
No kidding.
It's something, all of us take photographs all our lives, and you wonder, you're getting back from the photo place, and you wonder, how did Aunt Bessie's foot get into the middle of that picture? I didn't intend that. So I thought it was time that I learned a little bit about cameras and how to take pictures, so I'm taking this class, actually. I've got my homework ready for tonight. And
Now, what's your homework for that? What is your homework?
we have to, you know what? Let me show you something.
What, we do this first?
You want to go away?
Yes.
Okay.
We're going to go away, but you actually have to, they give you homework.
Oh, yes. And they grade it and everything.
Well, I want to see your homework. Did you good your job, buddy? Homework? Just stay where you are. We'll be right back. We're talking with John Larroquette, actor and photographer. Is this a hobby, avocation, something you want to really get good at?
With my personality, we'd call it at this point an obsession.
An obsession.
I had some grips at the studio tear my bathroom apart in my dressing room and convert it to a dark room. So unfortunately, I have
now
to
you're going
use
the whole
Harry
way.
Anderson's bathroom when I have to go. But I've got everything in there: the enlarger, chemicals. It's totally
So you got a
obsessive.
compulsive personality.
Oh yes.
Well, let's see your homework. Now, you said
Absolutely.
this. Now, they told you to go out and...
Yeah, well, this is the first one, and things do get better. But this is I didn't do too well on the first one. I got a C- on this one. That was just, and I printed this myself. I developed the film, and it just didn't come out like I thought it would.
See, now I'm trying to figure, is this artistic? Am I missing something
Well,
here? Or is-
yeah, it's a sort of my Jackson Pollock period.
Yes, I was...
This is the sun from the Black Lagoon, I
So
call
about
it.
about a C- on that.
Yeah, but this one, let me show you.
Moving ahead here, the good stuff.
The better of that same one, but
Now,
I
this
got
is-
it down.
Now, this is an interesting...
A little better. It's the same
concept.
shot, but with a little more technique involved, and I actually got it to where it looked like a person.
Yes, that's intriguing.
That's Jonathan Larroquette.
That's your son? How old
Yes,
is he?
he's 13.
Okay. Something else?
And this is my abstract period here. This is called Crying Buddha Kills a Small Wooden Dummy. And as you can see, it's on the top there.
Do I have this right?
No, that's
I see.
that's fine.
Excuse me, I
No,
just...
I know, I understand.
I'm not familiar with this school of photography.
It's real hard to tell that, but it's called Waiting for the Other Shoe to Drop is the title of it. That's my 3-year-old sneakers floating in the air above the picture there.
Uh-huh.
And there's a little dummy with a dart in it. And I'll have these available for you in the lobby for
I see.
$5 a piece if you
Well, that's
like.
quite unusual.
I got a B on that one, so.
A B, so
Yeah,
you're-
so I'm going up.
So your A will come soon.
Yes, I would hope
Do you
so.
buy lots of fancy, expensive equipment?
Yes, unfortunately, I do.
You got the dark room.
Yeah.
You bought a tractor once, if I remember. You like...
Still have it. As a matter of fact, I just bought a trailer for it so I could haul stuff around the property with
Have
it.
you used it? What kind of a tractor?
A Kubota, can we say that?
I don't know.
I don't know.
You said it very
I said
well.
it pretty- Thank you very much.
I don't know if you can say it. Yeah, of course you can
It's
say
got a
it.
big shovel on the front of it, and
You use
I
it?
can
Or did you-
very much. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I go. You know what happened? I was driving around my house, and there's a lot of horse property around my area, and there was a lady with a stable outside her yard, and with this big pile of horse manure, and it had the sign stuck in it, "Free manure." So about 10 o'clock at night, I went out with my flashlight, got on my tractor, went out down my road with my shovel, and sat at 10 o'clock at night shoveling this horse manure into my trailer so I could put it on my garden.
Did you ask her if you could take her?
No, but there was a big sign that said free manure, so...
You didn't say that. Did I miss something?
Yeah.
I forgot again.
Free manure.
Free
John.
manure. I guess I just blocked that out of my...
But I like tractors very much. They're good.
What was that old joke about somebody who saw the big pile of manure, the difference between a pessimist and an optimist?
Yeah.
Guy says one was a big pile of manure, and the other guy says there's a pony under there somewhere. Something like that. It was something like that.
That's close enough.
Close enough. Okay. Well, who's keeping score? You have a picture out.
Yes.
Naturally called Tuna. Don't tell me.
These people will be doing that for you tomorrow.
Tell
the
me.
title of this.
It's
Tune In Tomorrow.
Tune In Tomorrow.
Right.
Absolutely.
It's based on a novel called And Julia and the Scriptwriter. Yeah, it is strange. It's Peter Falk plays a soap opera writer for radio in the 50s in New Orleans. And he sort of loses reality sometime, and the film actually dissolves into the lives of the soap characters. It actually becomes the movie for a while. And that's where you find me, myself, Peter Gallagher, Elizabeth McGovern. And this clip, if we're going to roll it, is when things are getting very weird in the real world, and so they're getting even weirder in the soap world. I play Uncle Albert, the richest brain surgeon gynecologist in New Orleans.
Brain surgeon / gynecologist.
I'm a hyphenate.
The hyphenate.
And Peter Gallagher and Elizabeth McGovern are brother and sister,
okay.
right? And they are now pregnant. Brother and sister are pregnant, and Uncle Albert can't have this. So at 4 months, he's trying to get her to have the baby so it's not a disaster to the family. And we pick them up in the operating room while he's trying to induce labor.
And you follow all of this, folks? Well, let's see if this explains it, eh?
More oxygen. Push, Julia. Push.
I'm only 4 months pregnant.
I know it's a little premature, but our time is running out.
Uncle Albert, you're a brain surgeon. I'm sorry.
Don't worry about that now, girl. Push.
Elmore, thank God that awful car crash was only a dream.
I want you. I must have you.
Elmore, that is your wife lying there. And my husband's just yards away.
I know that, honey. That's what excites me.
Excites me, too. Elmore.
Nurse, swab. Wait a minute. There's something strange going on here. Who are you?
Richard. Yes, Uncle Albert. It is I.
Richard, darling.
This is my child. I have a right to be present at its birth. You swine. Come on, Margaret. We're calling the police.
Oh, Richard, Uncle Albert is trying to induce me even though I'm only 4 months pregnant.
You keep your filthy hands off her, you gynecologist.
This is madness.
That's a bizarre picture.
It's not exactly what you'd call a backdoor pilot.
No,
is
that's
it?
a bizarre scene.
It is. And at the end of it, Peter Falk actually comes into the world of the soap opera, so it gets completely bizarre, but it's a wonderfully funny picture.
That's what I read. I wish you much luck with it.
Thank you very much.
I know you got to run. You can take the son out trick-or-treating?
I will later,
You
yes.
got a
First, I'm going to go to class, yes. 3-year-old. But, you know,
School first.
school first, and then Halloween.
Thanks for coming.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, John. We'll be back, folks. Stay with us. Okay, my next guest, Anthony, this young comedian has been with us once before. He's a regular at the Improvisation in Hollywood. He's going to be at a new club in San Ramon, California, the 12th of December, called Tony T's. And you may have seen him on Ed Show's Star Search, where he was a finalist. Would you welcome Anthony Griffith? Anthony?
Thank you very much. Glad to be back here. I just moved here to California from Chicago. Yeah? Thank you. I came out here to pursue my acting career. I first started performing in college. I majored in theater. But my school would only put on plays like Oklahoma, Annie Get Your Gun, plays in which I really couldn't showcase all my talent. You know? I just got tired of saying things like, "Mo biscuits, sir." I was a butler in just about every play I was in college. In fact, I was a butler in plays that didn't even have butlers. Believe it or not, I was a butler in West Side Story. People would come up to me, "Do you know where Maria is?" "I don't know where Maria is. I know where the biscuits are." And at the time that I left Chicago, every 12 seconds a crime was being committed in the city, which was scary, especially to me because that meant every 12 seconds I was a suspect. You know? It used to amaze me how I could walk into a store and every eye would watch me simply because I tan easier than most people. Yeah. Whenever I touch something, may I help you? No, I'm just looking. What are you looking for? I'm just looking. What exactly are you looking for? Well, right now I'm looking for a can of Raid to make you stop bugging me. In fact, I was mistakenly arrested for attempted murder once, and it was funny to me how it happened because I was working out at a health spa, and I was in the process of taking off my gym shoes and socks. And the police came up to me and said, "You're under arrest for attempted murder." And I just started laughing. I just went, "Wait a minute, officer, now, I know my socks stink, but they don't smell that bad." I mean, that's what I thought, because my father used to always tell me, one of these days, your gym socks are going to kill somebody. And they took me to the hospital to be identified by the victim, which was frightening, until I saw the victim was delirious. You know. He just looked up at me and started saying, "Mama? Mama, is that you?" And I played right along. "Yeah, it's me, baby." I wasn't going to jail, man. Not as skinny as I am. You know. It's nice to be loved, but, you know. It's very expensive out here in California. I went shopping for some gym shoes the other day, came across the Reeboks that advertised the pump. They cost $175. Now, I feel if I have to pay $175 for some basketball shoes, those shoes should be able to play basketball without me. I should be able to drop them off at the gym, pick them up later. Did we win? Another expensive brand are Air Jordans. And kids literally beg their parents for Air Jordans. You see them in stores everywhere you go. "Mom, I gotta have the Air Jordans. I gotta be like Michael." Well, until you bring home $3 million like Michael, I'm taking your butt to pay less. Gym shoes are so mainstream in our society. I read an article where a shoe company sent 500 boxes of gym shoes to Ethiopia in hopes of reducing the famine. As if the Ethiopians would look at these boxes and go, "You know, Desmond, now that we have these gym shoes, I think we can catch that cheetah going 75 miles an hour." I can just picture Ethiopians behind the bush going, "Here, cheetah, 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 cheetah." Man, they go right over there. Oh, man, well, no wonder we can't catch him. He wearing gym shoes, too. I also know there's a lot of dog lovers out here in California. I hate dogs. People say dogs are man's best friend. I have yet to have a best friend poop in my living room. And people think dogs will lay down their lives for you, which is so untrue. I had a fire in my house last year, and my dog was the first one out the house. In fact, I didn't know there was a fire until he called me up on a payphone across the street. I'm running outside in my underwear. "Hey, man, how come you didn't bark?" "Hey, you got a smoke detector. I heard it." And in Chicago, if a dog poops in public, by law, you're supposed to pick it up. Now, after, say, a week of doing this, you've got to ask yourself, who's the real master in this relationship? Then you have people that dress their dogs. One of the most embarrassing moments in my life happened one time on my way to work. A dog crossed my path wearing a sweater and a matching cap. And I just so happened to be wearing that same outfit.
Kevin Pollak has been with us before. He's a talented young actor and comedian. He's going to be performing next week at Cobb's in San Francisco. He's got a role in the new movie Avalon, which is playing, I guess, all over the country, or a theater near you, or around the corner, or wherever. Would you welcome Kevin Pollak? Kevin? Well, how's
everybody?
Oh, fine. The question is, how are you?
Very good.
You're gutsy.
What are you saying?
You're gutsy. Now, somebody told me you were going to come out doing something, but I wasn't quite ready for this.
Normally I wear a suit, true, but it's a little stuffy, to be honest with you.
I understand you had a birthday yesterday. Does that have anything to do with... Is this a midlife crisis or something, or...
All right, I was going to try to cover up and say, I was told we were all wearing costumes tonight, okay? I was told Dad was coming with the Pillsbury Doughboy, Larroquette was going to be the Jolly Green Giant, you were going to wear one of Doc's suits, so... This is great. You know, I have no party to go to. This is it. This is
Are
terrific.
you going to wear this out tonight?
I do. I have a party to go to. This is the problem. I didn't have time, and I'm going right to this party. It's either 6 hours at the party in a suit, which would look good on the show, or an hour in this. I think I made the wrong decision.
I would be very careful where you walk in town with that outfit tonight. This could be a night to remember for you.
If I, you know, it's funny though. It's not just the pink. When you put the wings on, you do tend to float a little bit. I'll be honest with you. If I could be honest though, it's not just Halloween. I do have deep feelings for Ed. And tell me. It was only me hanging, Ed. I know you feel something, and Johnny, you've seen it in his eyes. Freddie, you've seen something, right? My therapist said, why be subtle? You know, go all the way with it. No, it's Halloween. If this were Christmas, I'd bring gifts. You know, you're supposed to... It's festive, that's all.
You're strange person.
Maybe it's the props. I don't need props.
You're stuck with it now.
Yeah.
What year was it yesterday? Yeah, what year? Yeah.
I was, and,
really?
My birthday, I was, 33. And, 33.
You're a young man. What are you worried about?
I'm young, please. I'm gambling now, obviously. I have a lot to, I have a whole career ahead of me that just went away like that. No. I got a big film out right now, Avalon. How do you outdo Doc? I did it. I don't know how, but, you know.
Yeah.
It's a very serious...
What did you get for your birthday? Anything interesting, or...?
I don't get good gifts. I always get a book from the same relative. You would think the Book of Love today. I just realized, looking at the monitor, people tune in, they could think this is Love Connection or something. All right, I got the quiver here. Don't stop me. Now, no, I usually... There's no Cuba without a quiver.
You know what's going to happen, don't you? Some guy's going to tune in later and see this and not know what the hell is going on.
That's why I wore it. No, I don't get good gifts. I got a book. I always get a book from the same relative. This year they gave me The Mating Rituals of Insects. You need that. Of course, you may not know unless you read the book that the male South American dancing beetle performs a mating ritual that lasts up to 16 hours. Yeah. 16 hours. Afterwards, of course, a female can simply say, no. Thanks for the dance, but no.
16 hours.
16 hours.
Down the tubes.
We'll be calling her back.
Now, this movie you're in is called
Avalon.
Yeah. You don't wear this in.
No,
in
actually,
the movie,
I wore this in a film. The costumer backstage, Carol Ramsey, put this together. We wore this in the film I just did. It'll be out next summer called Great Moments in Love, where I do a thing as Cupid, and we thought it would be clever, and my manager's in big trouble. No, so good. You got a career. What do you care? Well, normally I wear a suit and a tie. No, it'll be good. Johnny will laugh. All right, good. So. That's all right.
You can't win them all.
I got money in the bank. I can shine shoes on the corner.
You better have money in the bank with this outfit.
You want to buy a watch? It's an antique.
So what else you want to do? You're a movie buff. What have you seen lately?
I go to see all the movies, you know, and there's a very strange year. First of all, recurring themes. A lot of the movies have similar themes this year. Presumed Innocent, about a guy who's accused of killing his coworker. Another 48 Hours, about a guy who's eventually killed by a coworker. Ghost, about a guy who is killed by his coworker. I didn't realize there's so much stress at the office. I had no idea. Ghost, they advertise, you will believe, right in the advertisement. You can't quite get a grip on the outfit. I understand. It takes a few segments. No, Ghost, you will believe. The rest of the movies this year should have been advertised. This is not true. We'll tell you right up front. Die Hard 2, the scene in the cockpit where they throw in the hand grenades and Willis is in there. I'm assuming everyone here played Army as a kid. When you pull out the pin, what do you get, 3-5 seconds? What does Willis have in the cockpit, like a day and a half in there? You can watch all the guys in the audience when the hand grenades go in, they're all going 1001, 1002, 1003, eventually 1034, 1035. Honey, the hand grenade should have definitely gone off by now. 1036. Total Recall, very believable film. They're getting a lot of kudos for Schwarzenegger's acting in this film. I don't think he's going to get the Academy Award nomination he's been hoping for. You know, he's never been nominated, Schwarzenegger. What do the Academy want? A verb? These people are so tough.
standards. They have standards.
They're very cranky, the Academy. They do have standards, yes. And he's giving them these
Aren't you glad you wore this?
You know, I had 3 minutes, boom, right to the joke. All right. The audience
Freddie,
loves it.
what are you doing this for?
We got a film clip?
We have to go right now.
Okay, we'll set this
Because
up.
they want to see this.
Yeah, no. Oh, please, they want to see this. This is a scene in Avalon, a story of the innocence of America through the eyes of this one particular family. And Aidan Quinn and I open up our own business, and this is our own television commercial to sell our own news store.
Watch the monitor.
Here we go.
Hi, I'm Jules Kay. And I'm Izzy Kirk. That's right, Jules. July